You're watching Cable 8, Greensboro Community Television. If you take a drive down Yanceyville Street and get a view of the gritty-looking abandoned mills, it doesn't seem like much. But don't judge a book by its cover, because some amazing renovations are happening to the mill that is over 110 years old. Revolution Mills is getting a new life. Emma Schrupp, commercial real estate developer for self-help, spackles in a few gaps for us in a little bit. But first, let's take a quick look at the Cohn family and how they got to Greensboro. Herman Cohn, born in Germany, landed in Richmond, Virginia in 1845. He got married and opened a store in Jonesboro, Tennessee. In 1869, he established a grocery business in Baltimore called Cohn & Adler, which was later called H. Cohn & Sons in 1870. His 5 sons were involved in the business, and in 1877, the firm was liquidated. In 1892, his sons, Moses and Caesar Cohn, established Asheville Cotton Mills in Asheville, North Carolina. 1890, Cohn Export and Commission Company was established, and the New York office was opened in 1891. In the very first years of production, the new mills were producing all sorts of products: chambrays, cheviots, suitings, fitted with an assortment of patterns such as flannels, ginghams, and tickings. In 1896, they started making denim at their new proximity mill, equipped with 240 looms and 20,000 spindles. During the 19th century, cotton was grown and picked south of the Mason-Dixon line, and all the factories were in the north. So when Moses and Caesar Cohn tried to establish textile factories in the south, they were told it couldn't be done. Not only did they succeed and prove their naysayers wrong, they built mills, communities, villages, schools, a YMCA, and on top of all that, they offered comfortable, healthy welfare to their employees, something not quite so common in the early 20th century. Really, when you think about it, they built up Greensboro.
Construction began on this mill. This was not the first Cohn mill, but construction began on this mill in 1898, and then it went through a series of expansions throughout the 1900s and grew into its current size now, plus a few warehouses that aren't existing anymore.
The idea for Revolution Mills, the one that we'll be touring in a little bit, came to the Cohn brothers when they wanted to establish a flannel factory. They talked old friends Emanuel and Herman Sternberger to join them on this business venture, which they would call Revelation Mill, which had some biblical emphasis, so they settled on Revolution Mills. This was followed by the construction of more mills: White Oak, Printwork, and Olympic Mills. So why Greensboro? Why did the Cohn brothers choose to come here? Greensboro had a close proximity to the cotton fields, the most appropriate name for their first mill here, Proximity Mills. The other reason was for Greensboro's substantial railroad hub. Now this is where the train track would come in and they'd ship all the stuff out.
Yeah, so you can see there's one rail line that runs that way on the property, and then the other, this is still active, this line is. I think it's a Norfolk Southern Railway, so they still run trains that way. They don't pick anything up at the mill.
That one doesn't run anymore, probably, right?
That one doesn't, no. And that's where the Greenway is proposed to run. This is a rail line with a rather large easement that's on our property that runs right over a creek that we're trying to restore.
What? So this is where the train came through, right? I didn't even realize this until now.
Yes. Yeah, so it crosses over the creek and came in right in here.
Is that Buffalo Creek right there?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Literally right in front of Buffalo Creek.
Yeah.
Thus our nickname, the Gate City. In 1891, Greensboro had as many as 60 trains come through each day. The Cohn brothers would later define Greensboro for its new nickname, the Denim King.